So throughout the semester, I've been traveling between worlds. As part of the Semester in the City program, not in Boston, but at UNH. I wake up at UNH as a resident assistant, an RA, to bathroom sinks colliding with the floor, pumpkins, and really whatever else that can fit out in 9th floor windows, or even if you can sort of piece it up and then throw it out, being thrown out of it. But don't worry, my residents are awesome. They're a great community, support each other, and they're actually generally the ones that chase the vandalizers off the floor for me. So they're great. But for whatever reason, my floor just happens to attract troublemakers that make waking up at 5:45 a.m. to get on that bus to Boston a little harder. When I do go to Boston on Fridays, I go to class, and of course look forward to wandering around the city with my fellow fellows. Really just picking a different place each week. Jamaica Plain, Cambridge, Alston, just to name a few. And just picking a direction, find some people, and going. Then there's my internship at UNH, where I spent most of my time. I worked and will continue to work at the Institute on Disability, a research center where I developed a disability statistics curriculum as well as ran focus groups. The Institute's office is really an island of campus. It's literally and figuratively surrounded by an ocean of asphalt with a road the length of the Mississippi winding its way back to campus. At least that's what it feels like when you're riding in 30-degree weather with the first snow coming down. At times, moving between these worlds can make you feel that you don't have a world for yourself. I'm left constantly explaining, how are you doing semester in the city when you're not in the city? Now for me, that's a little bit of a loaded question, because I'm from small, rural Kensington, New Hampshire, where, for me, UNH is a city, because there's buildings that have more than 2 stories, even more than 3. It's crazy. And now look at me here in Boston. Is this 17 stories? Yeah. It's higher than 17. So Boston's just something else. Yet as the semester went on, I began to see my worlds collide. I went from being the person appearing in different places to becoming a connector, becoming the bridge connecting my office to students, to the campus, and to this program. I've discovered that being a connector does not place you in your own world, but instead allows you to experience the best of all worlds. Being a connector gives you the freedom and independence to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Because if nobody else can completely track all the worlds that you're moving through, how can they track it when you have such a hard time doing it as well? I've known that I'm my own independent person, but this semester made me realize that it's okay to be independent, that it's okay to be moving between worlds and making your own decisions within each one. It's okay that sometimes you might not be quite sure what decision is right, but after a little bit of self-reflection, you generally find that decision sitting right there for you. This semester, I threw myself into a whole bunch of new worlds, and what came out of that inferno was an individual comfortable with independence and someone who is okay with uncertainty and ready to jump into yet another world. Thank you.